Howdy folks. So today we're going to be going over some tips and tricks that most folks tend to overlook when first getting into hiking. But these could make a huge difference in the enjoyment and safety of your next hiking or backpacking trip. So let's get out there and get into it. First up, let's talk about brain fog. And I think you know what I'm talking about, right? That's when you just have that mental sluggishness, right? Things just don't seem to be connecting as quickly or as efficiently as they should. Or maybe you've got just a mild headache and you're just mentally exhausted. Well, that brain fog is actually your body sending you an early warning sign that you're starting to experience signs of dehydration, right? So don't wait until you're thirsty to start drinking. You should be sipping on liquids constantly throughout your hike. Don't wait until you're thirsty, sip often, and you'll feel better throughout the day. And that leads me right into the next one, and that's cold weather dehydration. Believe it or not, you're actually more prone to get dehydrated in the cold weather than you are in the warm weather. I know it sounds a little counterintuitive, but the reality is, in the cold weather, that actually masks some of the main signs that we see for dehydration, right? The overheating or getting sweaty. In cold weather, you don't notice that as much because you're bundled up trying to stay warm. So in the cold days, it's critically important to make it even a larger priority to hydrate often. Right, let's talk about tip number 4, and that's headwear. So your hat isn't just a fashion statement or a great way to hide a bald spot, but it's also one of the most important safety devices in your kit. Right, during the summertime, your hat's going to protect you from the harmful UV rays of the sun. During the winter time, your hat's going to help keep your body insulated and trap in additional warmth and heat throughout the day. It's a simple thing to have with you, but it's an immensely important item to always have in your kit. Whether you're looking at a ball cap or a stocking cap, something to cover your head and protect you from the elements. I wish the hat could protect me from mud. All right, let's talk about footwear. Some folks like boots, others like shoes. I'm not going to tell you which one to take because that's going to be your personal preference. But what I do highly recommend is that you buy your shoes at the end of the day, or even better, after a long day of hiking. Now, I know it seems kind of strange, but at the end of the day, or after a lot of physical activity, your feet tend to swell and your shoe size will actually be different than it is in the mornings. So buying your shoes at the end of the day or after a hike will guarantee a better fit for when you're out there on the trail. So once you've picked out that perfect pair of footwear, it's also important that you break them in. Right now, I know everybody knows that you need to break in leather boots, but did you know that you need to break in trail runners also? I know, it's right. They might seem super comfy in the store, but you never know if you're going to end up getting a blister or an area that just rubs and doesn't feel quite right until you've had an opportunity to fully break in your shoes. So once you've picked out that perfect pair of shoes or boots, take them for a test drive, right? Head out there on a couple of short hikes or wear them around the house or to work for a few days before you set out on that next big adventure. So before I get too far along or completely lost in the mud, if you're enjoying this video and you're finding it entertaining or somewhat helpful, I hope you consider giving it a like and maybe subscribing to the channel. I try and upload new outdoor content every Wednesday. That schedule has been pretty successful the last few months, and I plan to continue with that into the new year. Thank you so much for the support. I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's shift gears and talk about food. You want to eat light and fuel for the miles. It's amazing. You'll get a lot more nutrition and energy out of a handful of mixed nuts and maybe a bag of carrots than you will out of a meal from a fast food place on your way to the trail. So avoid the temptation for those heavy, empty calories. Stick to good, healthy, simple foods. Eat small, frequent meals throughout the day. You don't ever want to just load yourself down with bulky carbs because then you get really lethargic and you lose that motivation. Small meals are the key to a happy, long, successful day on the trail. Now, food can also be used for another purpose other than just sustaining your hike. Food can actually be a great tool if you're a cold sleeper. Now, what I mean by that is you want a fuel to help warm yourself from the inside out. If you're out on a hike and you're planning on staying overnight and you don't think that your kit is going to be enough to keep you warm, fueling right before bed is a great way to help raise your internal body temperature. So by eating a large, hearty meal right before you crawl into your bed, that's going to actually give your body that opportunity to kick it into overdrive and start warming yourself up from the inside out. Now let's talk about a backpacker's secret weapon, and that is the good old-fashioned trash bag. Right now, many of us are already using a trash bag as a pack liner. If you don't have a waterproof bag or you're not using stuff sacks, then a trash bag is a great way to keep your gear safe and dry on a potentially wet afternoon. Trash bag has other amazing uses as well. It can be used as an emergency poncho, right? So if your raincoat's just not quite cutting it, you can pull a trash bag on over your backpack and on your body and keep everything warm. It can be a rain cover for your backpack if you don't have one already. And it also has its an original intended purpose, and that's as a trash bag. Because let's face it, folks, there is, in this day and age, no shortage of excess trash left on the trail. Not everybody practices the leave no trace, pack it in, pack it out principles. But as a hiker, our job is to try and help educate and help clean whenever we have the opportunity. So keep an extra trash bag in your pack, pick up some debris along the way, and let's make it a little bit nicer for everybody else out there on the trail too. On the topic of pack it in, pack it out, let's talk about your backpack, right? Pack it tight. The right fit matters. Having loose space in your backpack is going to cause your gear to potentially shift around while you're hiking, which is going to cause unnecessary strain on your shoulders or your hips or your back. Pack it tight and fill that bag. And now I'm not saying bring a whole bunch of extra gear. What I am saying is make sure you have the right size pack for the amount of gear you want to carry with you, and then pack it efficiently and effectively. Remember, when you are planning your hike and packing your bag, less is more. Now, I'm not saying to go super ultralight minimalist. You do want to make sure you have a certain level of creature comforts with you on your hike as well. You should always strive for somewhere between comfort and ultralight when you're looking for your kit. If a piece of equipment you have in your bag doesn't have a dual purpose, make sure you really need it in the first place. Remember, the less weight on your shoulders is the more miles you can put on your feet. Now, these tips can make a significant improvement on your next outdoor adventure. Remember to prioritize safety, respect for the environment and your fellow hiker, and above all else, have fun. Because after all, that is our goal, to get outside, have an amazing adventure, and enjoy doing it. So until next time, folks, I hope to see you out there on the trail soon. Let's go for a walk.